the artist struggle for his integrity is a kind of metaphor, must be considered as a metaphor for the struggle which is universal and daily of all human beings on the face of this terrifying globe to get to become human beings. It is not your fault, it is not my fault that I write. I will never become before you in the position of a complete.
Hello, everybody out there in the Poetry Corner universe. We are back with part 2, relationships, drama, conflict, resolution. Now, you see how I said the look on my face, the resolution?
I see.
Is there a resolution? Is it not? Drama, conflict, toxicity, resolution? Possibly. Who knows? But we'll get into all of that as we begin the show. You know what I mean? What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm feeling great, man. Glad to be here, man. What's happening? Let's talk poetry community. Welcome to Shop Talk here on the Poetry Corner. I mean, you know, it's part 2, y'all. Part 1 was wild. Man, part 1 was wild. Wait, part 1 was wild.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Hey. Look who it is.
Melissa, how you doing?
2 rounds.
How are you? How are you, gentlemen, this evening?
Good. We in the building.
Glad to see you. Glad to see you.
Yeah. So, as I was telling out the Poetry Corner world out there, tonight, relationships part 2, drama, conflict, resolution. Is there a resolution? Possibly. Do we know? Do we feel it? Can we give it? Can we bring it?
When it's done, it's done. When it's dead, it's dead.
But what happens when they try to come back just for communication?
What happened to that communication when we were there? We were there. We was in the moment. You know, we were there.
Are we singing a Lenny Kravitz song? Like, it ain't over till it's over?
We were there. It is over. I'm at least for me. That's personal for me.
But
and
you know, I'll be honest. One of the things that I always say is I never go back. Right? We've been in a relationship and that thing is over. Yo, that thing is dead. It's done. I ain't coming back. So we can have as much resolution as you like, but it ain't no more of us trying to resolve anything to make it work again. Right. For what? So that we can.
We were there.
So we can repeat some of the same patterns, even though we decided to make a resolution, right? Everything that happened with us during us is still present. It's still there. It's just laying as a medical
dormant.
They like to say dormant. It's laying dormant until something triggers it and it reactivates it. And you like, yo, I was saying like, yo. You remember when you did this and you said that?
Well, I personally feel like resolution is when you part ways. That's the resolve right there. But sometimes there's always some type of stench laying around. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you do with that? You know what I mean? How do you go about removing that stench? You know what I mean?
You know what? It's not funny.
It's a SUV moment.
This is real.
You called a cleanup woman.
She was already there.
Look,
you know, she was already there. If you're aware to the point with this, because I believe in fighting. I'm just a fighter, and if I love that deep, I'm a fight. And I'm gonna have to forgive when it comes with that fight. And I'm gonna have to sacrifice when it comes with that fight. And I ain't ready to give up the you know what yet.
Yeah. Well,
I
in
mean,
immortal words
So
of Teddy Pendergrass, I think you better let it go.
yeah, you know, but you know,
but when it's there,
sometimes you find that one that's worth fighting for, and you want to fight,
hmm
right?
yep.
That be true.
So what ends up happening is part of that resolution is actually realizing that's the one you want to fight for. So you gotta be that's when you gotta be a grown up. You gotta sit down
Hmm.
and say,
Woo.
hey look, all that stuff that happened in the past, that's a past.
Right.
Let's communicate and let's figure out how we're gonna move forward for our future. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the key words are you gotta be a grown up. You can't be that teenager
Yes.
from high school, you can't be that 20-year-old something you
Right.
30, mid 30s, you might come around a little bit, but you have to resolve that conflict before you can move forward.
Maturity.
And now here comes the work. Here comes the work. Is actually being ready to hear the dirt about yourself that you ain't ready to deal with.
Mm.
Because one thing your significant other knows is how dirty you are.
I,
Yeah. So
it's the truth. It's as real as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
That's
Outside,
as real as
outside,
it gets.
outside of your coworkers,
Right.
you spend more time with that person than anybody else in the world.
Yep. Yes, you
right.
do.
So why
We
wouldn't
used to call, what do they call, office husbands, office wives?
you talking about work
You
wives, work
know,
husbands?
yeah. I mean, you're right. And
That
then you
creates
come
hey,
home
that creates conflict.
for insecure
Yeah.
people.
It creates
Hmm.
conflict. Like, what? Man,
I
listen,
I'm
wouldn't
like,
say
go
I
make
would.
my,
listen here.
go make that money.
Pull up. Then not pull up. You say, "Oh, this is my work husband." Oh, he getting two piece. What? Say what? Now? Bro, you all right? You in the car? You all right? You all right? Oh,
You
okay. You know
gotta
what?
have that open minded.
Let me help you up. Let me help you up. Don't utter those words ever again. But in all seriousness, though, you got to be willing to do the work. If that means you got to get counseling, if that means you got to do some soul searching, you got to be willing to do the work, and you can't be upset with what happens in those moments when you're trying to do the work for resolution.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely got to put in that work because if you don't put in that work, it leads back to misunderstanding,
Yeah.
miscommunication, and all that other razzmatazz stuff that incorporates drama and conflict and toxic situations and stuff. So you got to
Yeah.
talk that talk and walk that walk
Yes,
and
sir.
be broad with it.
Hey, man.
How many
No, go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead.
black men if you line up 10 of them, probably six of them are willing to go to cancel. Two of them don't even know what you're talking about when you say cancel. And the other two is like, well, what's wrong with you? So our black men, I don't know why, because mental health is a great need in our community, but they not closest don't get is the pastor.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If you'd have asked a 20-something-year-old me about counseling, I'm like, I'm not crazy. I don't need to go to counseling.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
in my 30s, um, it was a little different, right? Because I was married to my first wife, and we were going through problems. And the only way I was going to stay is if we had counseling, right? But I didn't like counseling, right? So we ended up being divorced because counseling didn't work. Um, Second wife, here we go counseling again. Premarital counseling, problematic counseling. I just wasn't for it. But 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 that was still the 20-year-old something me. Here I am in my late 30s, right? 40s. Still wrestling with the 20-year-old something me that despised counseling because there's nothing wrong with me. Y'all crazy. I ain't going to counseling, right? But in reality, 20-year-old something me didn't want to go to counseling. 30-year-old something me didn't want to go to counseling because I should have had counseling in my teens when my mother died at 14, when my grandmother died at 14. I should have had counseling to help work through those issues that I had then that wouldn't have festered and manifested in my relationships, i.e., the issues I have of abandonment when it comes with women.
I could dig that. I could dig that.
Mhm.
You know, my personal experience is I didn't really learn communication until my second wife. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Had a lot of relationships in between, but it was always like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Grill face, walk away, give you my back. I mean, and I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Then you bickering over little small, minute stuff. And when I reflect back on it, it's like, damn, that was some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but like I
yeah,
said, I understood the
Mhm.
ways of myself, and I said, you know what? You have to talk. Even if you get into an argument, disagreement. Well, I ain't gonna say argument, strong disagreement. You know what I mean? You still have to talk. And you have to wait. Sometimes if she be pissed off, leave her be until she ready to speak. That's what I had to learn. Because
yeah.
the younger me would have been like, "Yo, don't you hear me talking to you?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" You got issues. I mean, like, yeah, I'm being honest though. I'll be like, "Yo, you got
No, no,
issues.
no. That's
You
real.
you
That's
you
real.
need to get your shit right." You know what I mean,
That's
like,
right.
but like I said, getting to the older age and being in that second marriage, I learned a lot of things. So I feel personally like, well, she's the ex-wife. So I feel like we was there for reasons and seasons. I mean, I was there for her for whatever it was, and she was there for me. That's how God placed it. And the resolution to our situation was God parted ways like Moses did the Red Sea, and I was able to walk through.
Dang, bro. Is that deep?
Yeah,
Right.
while the
Woo.
trouble, like while the haters and troublemakers, they got hit with the water. I mean, I didn't walk through the path,
That's
and when
crazy, bro.
it,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy, man. No, sometimes when you allow people to be an influence and be in your ear, you're all mixed up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
You
ain't talking
know,
about myself. I'm talking about her. But it was just like, you know what?
yeah.
This is a dub. It's a done deal. You know what I mean? So I've seen other people in their own situations, and it's like, and I try to be like, yo, you got to find some type of, resolve to that, man. It ain't that serious. So they be like, nah, she don't. I said, I've been there before, bro. The younger age. I mean, you the same age as me, so I'm just saying,
Like
going
2
off my
weeks
experience
ago.
when so
Yeah.
it has to take two. It takes two. Marvin and Tammy Terrell. It takes two, baby. You know what I
You
mean?
know,
So
you know, it do take two. And I often, when I'm counseling people or talking to people, um, especially when it comes to relationships, that I always say there are two things. Two things. If you could solve these two things in any relationship, that relationship will never end. And that's communication and selfishness, right? Because when you get selfish in a relationship, that means that your number one concern is you. You no longer care about the other person. But if you're selfless, you learn how to be unselfish,
mhm.
then the hope is that it can become this reciprocal exchange. Well, I'm unselfish, and if I show him or her that I'm unselfish, then maybe they could be unselfish back. Because
Yeah,
when you're together, you start to take on each other's traits. You start to learn from each other. You start
right.
to
Oh
teach
yes.
each other.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and if I like waking up in the morning and opening up the blinds because I like natural sunlight, right? But you might not like natural sunlight, right? We got to compromise
Mm.
until one day you realize that you're the one waking up, opening up the blinds because now you want that natural sunlight, and then
Yeah,
and you don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
realize it. You don't even realize
Yes. It's patterns. It's
it.
like you in tune with that person is
Yeah,
patterns. And it's so crazy because people never want to admit they have patterns. you have patterns. It's just like a baby. If you're around this baby sees you. If you say the S word, this baby is gonna join in at some point.
Yep.
You know.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So
That's
it's
true.
no different with adults. They put
Yeah.
a whole lot of emphasis on being a grown up.
Yep. And
This
you know,
for, it
when you talk
is.
about King, when you was talking about, can there be a resolution, right?
Right.
I believe, and y'all out there, y'all watching, y'all listening, go ahead and type, talk to us. But I believe that there isn't any single item of conflict in a relationship that cannot be resolved unless it's abuse. Everything else can be worked out because it's just a matter of communication. And let's go here. Let's talk about cheating for a minute. Most people don't think you can't come back from cheating. You can't come back. No, she did that to me. No, I'm good. I'm good. How many times you did it to her and she forgave you? Women are some of the most forgiving when it comes to their significant other cheating. But here's my point. Here's my point. You have to be willing to do the work to undo the hurt that you've caused from cheating. For example, well, babe, when you leave the house, I'm gonna need you to let me know where you're gonna be at. This is what I need. This is what I need to help me heal from this. Because now it's a matter, I don't trust you. So you got to rebuild that trust. And it takes time to rebuild it, right?
Yeah,
How
true
much
facts.
time? I mean, how long are
What do you
you paid
mean?
for
How much
that
time?
mistake? I
That
mean, is
depends
there
on
a
the individual.
penalty box you go in and okay, because you
That
better stay
depends
over
on
there
the
for 60, 90 days. You're
Look,
like,
hey, hey,
oh.
hey, Paul, hold up. Hey, Melissa, what was you out there being Jackie Joyner Kersey?
I had to let it go.
You was running, you was
I had
running
to
that
let it
track and
go.
field.
I had to let it go. It's
It's
like,
hard to let it go though.
okay.
That's how I understand that
Yeah, I
point.
mean,
You gotta
You got to
it's
build that trust back though. I
you
feel you
got to
though.
build that trust back, and whatever,
How
but
long
again,
will it take? Because
how long it takes.
you
Ready?
have
You ready?
people that
You ready?
okay.
You ready? It's
Hit
going
me
to
with
take,
it.
it's going to take as long as it takes the other person to realize that what I'm doing that she has asked me to do becomes normal behavior. It's no longer a request. It is now part of my DNA. It is now part of my
Mm,
makeup that
mm.
I want to do this because I know that he or she needs it.
Wow. Wow.
Again, you got to be a grown up.
Yeah, you got to open the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
You got to open the door. You know what I
I'ma
mean?
stay Jackie. I told y'all I'm stay Jackie. I'm good over here. I live my best life. Hey, Boro.
You out there singing Lil Duval, huh? Living my best life.
Living my best life. I ain't
Right?
going back to prostitute.
And what you say your name is,
Oh man.
Oh
Now,
man.
now we talked about conflict. We talked about a lot last week and this week. You know what we didn't touch on? We didn't touch on our toxic friends that don't like the relationship that we have. So now they are giving their opinions about
Boom.
how I should live my life with my partner, with my significant other, with my spouse. However, you ain't got one. What I'm listening to you for?
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
There
You
you go.
can't
Yep.
even get one.
If you've never been married, I can't tell you how to be married.
If
If
you
you've never
never,
been in a relationship, if you never cheated, if you never whatever, if I don't have
please
experience,
don't
I don't
offer me
have it.
no advice.
That
Don't offer me none of that. If you ain't never been
right.
married, you ain't never been married. Hold on, hold on,
Oh, you can wreck my home.
hold on. What kind of advice you about to give me? What you did with your single life? How's that working out for
Right.
you? You still single?
Mm. Play house. They think because they played house that they know what being married is. They played house.
Marriage a whole
For some, that's enough.
But you
I
know,
mean,
the crazy thing is when you having issues with your significant other, then they're like, "Oh, I spoke to so and so," and you like spoke to so and so. Come on, come on, come on. You ain't got no other friends out there or people that you can speak to other than that person. They want to see a. They want to see the demise.
oh God, sitting in the front row with popcorn.
I
Popcorn,
will
chips,
tell you.
dip,
I
soda
will
pop.
tell you.
Yep.
While I appreciate you getting a female perspective because I am not a female. I don't know how you think. I don't know how your hormones rate. I don't know none of that.
Thanks.
At least get a female perspective from wise counsel.
Elders or whichever. You know what I mean?
Not even elders.
I
Don't
mean
go to
somebody.
Google.
I mean
Don't go to
somebody a little
Google.
older. Yeah, don't go to Google.
Don't
Don't go
go
to
to
the net.
Google.
Don't go to social
If
media. Don't go to social media.
right,
Oh yeah.
don't come to us.
Don't go to
I am not
Instagram,
your role
TikTok, and none of
model.
that.
Right. You know, I'm sharing my experience.
Hey,
I'm not your role model
only
whatsoever.
only role model I
Right.
mentioned to this being is a role model to my kids.
I mean, a lot of times a person could see could be somebody at work who been in a long term marriage, relationship, whichever. You can learn from there. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Good
You can learn.
information. You
Yeah.
know,
There
good
might be somebody there
information.
that's informative to give you the information, or you take tidbits of information and
Yeah,
apply it upon yourself.
yeah.
But don't go to those friends that be that yada 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 yada, and they just want to sit back in the cut like, see, I knew it.
See,
You
I
know
knew it.
what?
Told you. I told you. Come on, girl, over here with this misery because we love company.
Yeah.
When I get in
have,
the zone, y'all,
have a
in a
nice cup of these
relationship.
problems.
Right, to hear each other say the same thing, basically. I get in the zone where I'll get dressed and I'll go out and I'll go to the bar. And I go solo. I never needed a co-conspirator. But anyway, I get dressed, I do the face, I go out, and I sit there, I order my drink, and I look at the women around me. And they're just drained. I mean, it's some of them look like they're out by force. You know, like they had nothing else to do. I'm not there. I'm not there. I can be at home with myself. You know, you got to be a real uncomfortable person to not be comfortable with yourself.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Man, I love
But
me.
like you said, grown people know that.
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
I
You
see
know,
young women sitting there and they just sitting and they on their phones, they don't engage in conversation. You know, if they took as much time to pick their clothes out as they
man, you
do
know,
other things.
it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna tell
Mm.
you, talk about phones and when you out, right? I would take my ex-wife, we would go out on a date, right? And tell me out on a
Mhm.
date. And I would take my glasses off because I need my glasses for distance. So I would take my glasses off. And she always asked me, she would say, why you always take your glasses off? I said, because everything I need to see is right here in front of me.
Mm.
I don't need to see anyone else around me. I can see images, right? In case something pop off, because I'm always got my back to the room, and I'm always focused on the door in case something pop off. I could be ready. But it was important to me, when you go out now and you observe. Hey, I like to,
Yeah.
I like when people watch, right? I like to observe, you
Yeah.
know, and just like she was saying, you can tell, women out there who were drugged out because they didn't have anything else to do, really don't want to be out there, don't want to be there, or they're not really enjoying their own company of themselves.
Right.
But this is all we got to deal with, man. This is where we at today.
Yeah,
You
I hear
know,
the stories, man. I mean, even though I'm out there single, but I've been married twice and everything. I've dated and dating people, but I see what I see, and I'm like, and I hear even the youngins at work in different places, and I'm like, why are you feeding that person all that information? You ain't even
And
got
they
your, you don't even have your things right. Like, yo, that's crazy on that. I don't
and
say
it's so
nothing. It's just when you only have a small handful of male employees at the job and you hear the women talking and stuff, they talk freely. And I just like, what? I'm like, oh man, It's crazy. I said, when you get around there my age, I said, I feel sorry for you unless you find the right one that heal you or something.
Yeah.
It took me early
It's
on.
sad.
Yeah, it took me early on to realize that I can't move as a single person if I'm not single. It wasn't that hard of a decision because obviously that was who I wanted to be with.
Mhm.
But to have my single girlfriend to try to convince me, go out. No, you don't know what I need anymore. You're single for a reason. You know? I'm doing what I need to do to handle mine. I'm good over here. I'm good over here.
So
Yeah.
that's why I say, like, how
Sometimes
can you try to resolve some things or find a resolution when you don't get the person don't get a window of opportunity because your friend dragging you out to go here. Oh, and sometimes they might be meeting up with some people and the person don't even know it. You know what I mean? Now that causes more conflicting thoughts and everything like that. You might be trying to resolve some issues, but
Yeah.
here she don't put you in a situation. Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about her. He ain't do you right anyway. She ain't do you right. So yo, have fun.
I'm gonna say this, and I know a lot of women gonna be mad. But if I get one more empowering sister to tell me to leave and stud and love and gold sister, your magic, I know I am. That's why I'm here. I am a manifestation of a beautiful universe. So definitely no black or rock. But if you don't give me all this information and bombarding with the negative, what's the positive? I need somebody married to write a book, please. Tell
I'm
me
wo-
how y'all survived them 20.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working.
Need somebody tell me how you survived those first 5 years, first 10 years.
Man,
Journal that. Journal that. I mean, they say it's no what? No blueprint.
yeah.
Somebody who has 50 years of marriage should be entitled to say they do have a blueprint.
Oh yeah.
Something you
Oh yeah.
might want to follow.
Look,
Oh yeah.
even 30. I've seen some young people be 30 years. I'm like, wow, y'all been together that long? Wow.
I mean,
I salute that. You know what I
like
mean?
it take work, man. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it take the opportunity for you to be, who you are, but you gotta let some of yourself go so that you can be available emotionally for the other person. And as I said, it'll be a reciprocal exchange, man. You're teaching each other, and the longer you're together, the more you know each other. Man, listen, I'm not gonna name which one of my ex-wives did this. We were together for about 4 years, and I hate mustard. I hate it. You would never see me eat mustard on a sandwich. The closest I come to eating mustard is if it's in the crab cake batter, making crab cakes, potato salad, deviled eggs, that kind of thing. But on my sandwich, never, never. This one particular evening, she was making me a sandwich. She asked me if I wanted mustard on my sandwich.
I'm sorry.
I said, you know how you watching a story or a movie, a TV show, where somebody says something and everything just get quiet. That's that's what happened. Everything got quiet, and I looked at her. I was like, "How long we been together? Hmm. How long you know me?"
Hitting long years.
I should have. And I was in my 20s, y'all. I was in my
Uh-oh.
20s.
Uh-oh.
I looked at her and I said, "Nah, that might be your other man that likes mustard, but I don't."
Mm.
She rolled her eyes, shook her head. She said, "I had a long day at work." I said, "So?" I said, "I would never forget that your favorite color is purple.
Mm.
I would never forget that you don't like buying gifts." And it was in that moment where something in me was like, "Yeah, bro, you probably should run right now." But I said, "No, no, I'll try and work it out." Single friends have the mindset that your marriage is something you can just up and walk away from as if you're single. They don't understand that the commitment in marriage is deeper.
Yeah.
100% correct. Which is why
I
I didn't walk away um, till about 3 years later. So
Mhm.
I can
it's
understand that. I get Danielle's point. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
That's why I didn't walk away. You know what I mean? Because when you believe in what you believe in, you see that there's potential to fix situations.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But as I said, talking in my own backyard, things do go well when you commit to things and you speak about things.
Yeah.
But then when you have those other voices out there,
hmm
that's where you know it's a dub. You
Man,
know, ain't no coming back. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's a wrap. Reynolds.
see, part of it is there's a couple of things that why a married person is not going to just up and walk away. Number one thing is actually finances, right? Because you built this life together. Your finances are tied together, tied to one. You're operating as one with finances.
Right.
And when you think about splitting that, and now you have to pay for everything, yeah, it's going to be harder to do that unless you're preparing for your exit strategy.
Women have been starting over for thousands of years.
That too.
They have been starting over, getting kids, starting over, relocate. I don't even. We are so resourceful.
But you
Oh
know,
yeah, no doubt.
another
So
thing is
I don't think finances is. I
Finances is
mean,
one. Finances is one.
it's
another.
very important. Yeah,
But there's another
but
thing too when you know they don't want to like heal or fix the situation, that already mean that they involved with somebody else. You know what I
they
mean?
done. Yeah. So
Yeah,
no
yeah.
finances, nothing.
And
They
so it's
you
like, why are
said
you
it
hanging
though.
around?
Exit,
That's
like
two.
you said, exit plan. You
That's
were
two.
right. We just said that. Hmm.
See, they made their exit plan to help with that finance.
Hmm.
So finances is definitely one. But if I got an exit plan over here, I got plan B.
Hmm.
I ain't got to worry
Yeah.
about leaving because my finances is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right? Now, one of the main reasons why a true married couple who has a different faith base built into their marriage, most of them don't want to leave because they understand that the commitment was made with another person, but there's also a commitment to God that you've made,
Right.
right?
That's true. This
So
is true.
so it's like, mm, mm, I got to break that
I
commitment with God. I got to break that commitment with him or with her.
Right. But even when some people they're not tied in with their faith,
True.
but when you believe in, you know what I'm saying, what the real of the situation, like yo, you put in too much for this to even go. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's time to go.
Yeah.
So
I
that resolution, the resolution within that is to part ways. And when I, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying, and so there's no drama, no beef, or any craziness on that. Because
I am a hold on for
people can.
dear life. I swear.
What you say? You gonna hold on for dear life?
Because I always it goes back to faith based. And I've never been married, but it's something about a feeling. I've been with enough people to know what I know when it comes for what a soulmate would be for me. And I can feel all of that sensation. And that's what gives me the energy to fight. That's why I say, no, it's not hard for resolution for me. I'm out. Because when it gets there, I know I've given all I can give. It's nothing left of me. I'm done. I done did cartwheel stand, open the circus, popsicle stand. I done did it all. I done did it
So
all.
the cup is empty.
bro, she done
I
went
done
through
loved your kids. I done loved your kids. Took them to the water park. We all a family. It
I
happens.
feel you. I feel
It
you.
happens. You will go.
I mean, I've been there where I've held on longer than I should because I wanted it to work. Um, we was married. We had kids.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
devastating effect that had on my children.
Yeah, that's what hit
I don't wish
different.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on anyone. I don't wish that on anyone. No, I don't agree that people should stay together for kids. I don't agree with that because in the long run, those kids end up being unhappy because you're unhappy, right? But just watching the effects of what that did to my children, it was hard. It was a tough pill to swallow.
I can only imagine, bro. You know what I mean?
The
Yeah.
resolution, the resolution sometimes is one sided,
Mm.
and there's nothing you can do about it but accept it, even
Yeah.
after you fought. You
That
know,
acceptance piece
That's
is
true.
something, though.
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
that's true
yeah.
though. I feel
uh,
you though.
but that's where it starts. You gotta surrender. You wave your white flag,
I
and
did.
Mm.
I did.
that's all you can do. Sometimes
Yeah,
you couldn't even breathe to do anything else.
I
You know,
did. And when my daughter called me that day and said, "Daddy, you left," devastated. I said, "Yes, baby, I did leave." I said, "But
mm,
Daddy's going to do everything in his power to make sure that I get to see you um, more often."
Feel you on that, bro. But you know what? So, bro, let's dab into a little poetry, man. I know you got something in your royal chamber. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying? Melissa, I know you got something in the scrolls and the scribes
no,
that
I
you got in
had
the
my
dresser drawer.
I had my grandkids today. Y'all are getting the best of me
All right,
at
well,
this moment, so I will be
sit,
here listening.
yeah, sit back for the ride. What's up, bro?
I mean, I got this piece somebody told me that it might be finished, but in my inked heart, I don't feel like it's finished. Um, it's not even titled yet.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna give it to you, and let the chips fall where they may. Right?
there you go, man. Stage is yours.
You don't understand the cost of my pain, and just how many days I purposely walked in the rain, so my tears would be concealed by the natural water streaming down my face. So I would walk at a slower pace, my tears blending with God's angels' tears, wondering why my reality has opened my greatest fears. One day I hope you never have to experience my level of emotional turmoil. Instead, I pray you would always be comforted by his healing oil. Because if you rip the bandages off, the scars would start seeping and oozing this pus filled concoction that would make your heart gag and cough. At the liquid feeling of hurt, broken trust, hateful vernacular, poison laced actions, all to end and destroy the part of me that I thought was good, that created peace and satisfaction. Instead, malicious intent followed in the efforts to destroy me from the inside out so much that I just couldn't see any reason to hope that someday I'd be good enough. Days and nights got extremely rough, but the cost of my pain had me ready to check out. It ate me up so bad I began to doubt. Then I remembered my legacy, my seeds that came from a part of me, how devastated they would be if I choose to let that pain destroy me. So I made a decision to be greater than the internal warfare's relentless permission to wreak havoc on my emotional well being. I focused on the promises that God told me and what I began seeing.
All right, that's what's up.
Yes, I
Shooting it out there. Okay, this piece I titled "Flying Kites." Sometimes life throw a curveball. The mitt is old and dusty. What we had become musky. I'm praying for ways that's ugly. My old soul still youthful and the heart becoming beautiful. You might not be longer used to hearing about the angels. Had to let go of communication, tampering, mind thoughts, wash my body in holy water, which I obtained from a higher source. Names speak volume in places around different people, shaking the brand where I land, dismissing pretty evil. Hold on to what I believe where others cannot breathe, changing the air from disease minds so I can breathe. Figuring out another route to take is nothing to me. Companionship with you and I is dead. Go find your eulogy. Obituary read, which was said about who tried, they lied. Swim inside a sinkhole is cold outside, the grounds you hide. Just abandon the complications, learn from outcomes and forever see. Nowadays, I move accordingly, escaped your world, living free. And that's that piece.
What's up?
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I think about things. When your thoughts is in the air and other things need to disappear, I think about flying kites. I mean,
Hey,
so
I ain't never flown a kite a day in my life.
we learned in we learned in Central Park, man, when I was young. I mean,
Ain't had no
I
parks,
saw
bro.
kite.
huh?
I ain't had no parks in the project with no open field like that I can just
Bruh,
go fly a kite,
I said Central Park. Central Park
I
is not
mean,
close.
listen,
A white man taught us when we was just in there trying to be mischievous in Central Park.
Right.
But he saw the little hood dudes, and when I was like, he's like, yeah, he's taught us how to fish off a Pepsi can and everything. Like, yo,
Right?
real talk.
Oh my God.
I caught a catfish in the lake. I was homeboy caught a
Okay.
goldfish and like, yeah, I was like in 4th, 5th grade, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, flying kites, man. But I just click like and excuse me, click, share, subscribe to the channel. We out here every week. Get those notifications. Not to mention that earlier, but excuse me. But I hope everybody out there in the Porch Corner universe is listening in, tuning in, and willing to catch the replay and share with other people. Because we all need to get some type of, little heads up on things in life. Because it's happening every day. Right. I mean, and if you can't find God, find somebody in the physical plane that can assist you with your everyday issues, not blaming you, but issues that you're going through in life. You know what I mean? Because never say that there's no answer, because there is an answer. You just got to work hard at it and find that typical resolution. So I mean, for us men out here, yeah. Women, yeah. I mean, people going through it. Plus being in this Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. Oh man, don't even start. I mean, it's been a rough 2 days, but this is, you know what? When you asked me to come on here last week, I was like, okay, cool. Come back this week, I'm like, okay, cool. This is my outlet, whether I'm on here or not. Sometimes, like I told you, it's just something to get you outside of the crazy that's going on around you.
Yeah.
People, you can really get into yourself. This is a safe place.
Oh yeah.
Because at this point, I'm out here now. Everybody's just, they gonna get frills, thrills, and it all. Good days, bad days, straight days, crazy days,
Right.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, no
I
doubt. We
appreciate it.
appreciate
I have
having you on.
enjoyed it. I
You.
have enjoyed you guys.
But
It's
one thing
been
I
a
see too in the world, that some people love that drama. You know what I mean? And then another thing they say, I don't like drama. You don't like drama, but you like conflict. You like confliction. That's what it is. That leads to the drama and the toxic stuff. That's what
People
it
get
is.
paid for that. People get paid for drama.
No,
People are getting paid for toxic drama, and we do it for free. But I mean, you just some
But I'm
get
saying,
paid, some
I hear
don't.
people say that a lot. I don't like drama, but you like confliction. So when you love confliction, you'll cause a situation that'll lead to some drama. Sometimes we gotta be the bigger person to turn our back to it and step away from it.
Right.
You know, and that's what the problem, to have that strength to do that. And sometimes in life you got to let people go. Don't be afraid to let people go. Like, bye. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't, your energy is not where it's supposed to be at. And when I know a better you than what I'm seeing right now. What happened? You know what I mean? Like, I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
it's like, what happened? Like,
And that's what you try to figure out. That's what baffles me. That's the first thing coming up. When did the switch turn on? You could have told me when the switch came on. We could have talked about. Don't go 2-3 years in and then oops. I've dealt with women who've accepted
Yeah.
outside children
Yeah.
and kept their marriage.
Yeah.
And I commend them because children don't have anything to do with it
right.
at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. Please don't get messy and petty and drag the kids into it. They only grow.
The tough part about that is knowing what the child represented. No, it's not the child's fault. But the survival rate sometimes of that marriage from that is slim. It's real slim.
But we were just.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
even the
sorry.
relationship part, what I'm saying, even if they're not married,
Yeah.
Funny thing is, well, I came down here, right? I mean, I guess because of the relationships I was in, my cousin had an inside joke. She was like, you know what? You like the world's greatest rent-a-pop. I was like, rent-a-pop? She was like calculating relationships I was in. She said, because you say the kids are always still cool with you, but you just not cool with the mothers. Like they
Right.
see you in the street, they still like, hey, Mr. Joe, is this, that, the other. With the mothers, I'm just like, oh, yeah, what's up? You know what I mean? Because they kids is cool with my kids. So, what I'm saying? But she was like, you like the world's greatest rent-a-pop. She said, you hold that title, the badge and everything. I was like, whatever, yo. But, because I believe the kids don't have anything to do with me and your separation. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, some women like to bring the kids into that. So, that's my resolution too. Like, I'll just remove myself from your energy belt. You know what I mean? But your kids ain't got nothing to do with anything. So when it comes to that aspect, you gotta respect what needs to be respected. What I'm gonna tell my kids, don't speak to her. You know what I mean? She ain't got nothing. Y'all ain't got nothing to do
But
with me and her
we
situation.
was just talking about patterns.
Yeah.
Kids mimic and repeat what they hear. And what I need women to do, you slept with them. Don't bash them now. You should have bothered to ask all these criteria questions before you had a kid with them. So don't sit there and bash them in front of kid. Kid, come right back and they just grow up with that mentality. They grow up with that anger because that's what they have at home.
Yeah, bitterness.
Yes, it's like a venom. Bitterness is it's like a poison. If you're around it long enough, that's all you are is bitter. Bitter children make bitter adults. That's bitter adults make narcissists. I don't know.
Then you have bitter adults that rub off on their kids.
That's what I'm saying. Patterns. They
I mean,
hear it,
unless
they
unless
see
they
it,
have a
they do
strong
it.
structure in their life, they have hope. You know what I mean? To beat out the odds.
Yep.
All our kids ain't gonna find a you, Renadad.
Nah, it ain't even me. That's the strong brother right there. Poe. You know what I mean? That's a prime example. You know what I mean? Just like other dudes out here too. But that's what it is though. Some women
That's how it's supposed to be.
they use the kids against. So that's why sometimes you might not find a resolution.
I've got stories. My son 27 years old, and I got stories. I got 5 kids. 5. I can tell you stories about every one of their mamas using my kids in one shape, form, or another. But what I never did, I never talked bad about any of their mothers.
Yep.
In front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I always encourage a healthy relationship with their mothers. Because at the end of the day, kids see what happens between parents. They see it. All my kids want to live with me right now.
They mimic. They mimic. They see it.
Peace and
They
power to
see
that,
the
bro.
angriness. It's that's so wow. It's so wow.
So because what I never want to have happen is for my kids to grow up and not know how to treat people that do them wrong.
Right. I feel you on that, bro. So, thing is, any last words for the people out there? Portugal universe.
Check this out. Resolution. There can be a resolution, but you have to be willing to do the work. You got to be a grown up. You can't be in your 40s and 50s, want to wear your pants all off your behind and act like you one of these little teeny boppers and think that that's going to be okay. Get help. It's okay. King.
Well, look, as I said, never be afraid to communicate. You know, two wrongs don't make a right. But if it's over, it's over. You know what I mean? Just move on to the next phase of chapter of your life. But listen here, Melissa Mack, do you have any last words for the audience before I close out?
If you're in an unsafe environment, there is no more waiting. Get out. We are losing women left and right due to domestic. Get out. There is no resolution. It is time to run. Run, Forrest, run. Don't wait. Go. It's because if you want your kids and you want to save your life and be there for them, this is what you have to do. That's all bets are off. So that's what I got.
That's what's up.
All right.
Listen in, click, share, subscribe to the channel, receive them notifications for the Poetry Corner every week. We here. We ain't going nowhere. And as I always say, peace, love, and poetry. And we out. See you next week.
It seems to me that the artist struggle for his integrity is a kind of metaphor